The American Revolution, a turning point in history. The American Revolution wasn't just a war, it was the start of a new nation. Imagine a group of ordinary people, farmers, merchants, and craftsmen, living under British rule, suddenly finding themselves fighting for freedom. What began as a disagreement over taxes grew into a fight for independence that changed the world. This is the story of how misunderstandings and missed chances led to the birth of a nation. The core problem. The main issue that sparked the war was simple: communication. In the 1700s, sending a message from North America to Britain could take over a month, and the return trip could take even longer. So, when problems arose, the colonies were often left to handle things on their own for months before Britain could respond. At the time, Britain didn't try to control the colonies too much. They gave settlers the freedom to govern themselves and manage their own businesses. This period, called salutary neglect, lasted for about 70 years. The colonies were left alone because they weren't as valuable to Britain as other places, like Canada or the Caribbean. Britain had very few troops in North America, and local militias were the main defense against attacks. Colonists enjoyed a lot of freedom and began to see themselves as independent. The turning point. The French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763, changed everything. After Britain defeated France, the colonies were free to expand into new lands. But Britain had different plans. To avoid conflict with native tribes and protect the fur trade, Britain passed the Proclamation of 1763, which limited colonial expansion. Colonists were angry. They had helped Britain win the war and now couldn't settle the new lands they had gained. At the same time, Britain began taxing the colonies to pay off war debts. Laws like the Stamp Act and Townshend Acts angered the colonists. They felt it was unfair to be taxed without having a say in the British government. The slogan, "No taxation without representation," became their rallying cry. Missed opportunities. The colonies had tried to cooperate before. In 1754, during the French and Indian War, Benjamin Franklin proposed the Albany Plan of Union, which suggested the colonies work together under one government. But both the colonies and Britain rejected the idea. Colonies wanted more independence, while Britain feared giving them too much power. This missed opportunity showed that the colonies could work together, but they weren't ready to unite fully. Over the next decade, Britain's harsh policies would push them closer together, eventually leading to the American Revolution. The aftermath of war. The war also created problems with native tribes. After the British won, they treated Native Americans poorly, which led to Pontiac's War in 1763. Native tribes fought back, resisting British control. Britain realized it needed to rethink its approach to North America. For the colonists, these events highlighted Britain's inability to understand their needs. The more Britain tried to control them, the more the colonists wanted independence. What started as a fight over taxes became a struggle for freedom and self-rule. The American Revolution wasn't planned. It was the result of choices, misunderstandings, and a growing desire for freedom. It shows how people fighting for their rights can change the world. This is just the beginning. In the next chapters, we'll dive deeper into the battles, the leaders, and the sacrifices that made America what it is today. Stay with us as we explore the revolution that changed history forever.